Hi. Good afternoon, students. Thank you for viewing this video. I'm going to be discussing a couple of different topics. We're going to be looking at initiatives and referendums, and this is to help you with your midterm group project. First, we understand. I want you to understand that this group project needs to include a law that you want to create or a law that you want to rescind, or get rid of. And so the two terms we're going to be discussing today is an initiative and referendum. So the way you look at initiative is you would want to create a law or add to a law that's existing. And so in order to do that, you're going to need to collect enough votes before the next general election. And generally that's a 4 month window in Arizona. So you're going to need to keep in mind a couple of different numbers. The signatures to amend a law, to add to a law, is 383,923 signatures. And those are valid signatures that have to be verified. If you're going to create a new law altogether, then you're going to need 255,000 signatures, 949. And so the initiative is a really interesting law for you to take a look at. Uh, it really gives the power of the citizens to evoke new laws into existence or to add laws that maybe they feel are weak. And so this is a way for citizens really to get involved in creating the law that that's over their country, that's over their lives. And so this is a very powerful tool for citizens to use. So your research project needs to look at maybe some inequities that you feel that exist that you really want to tackle. So you need to get the background about the law that you either want to create or add to. So that's initiative is one aspect of the group project you could do. You could do also referendum. And referendum is a little bit different. You typically would use a referendum on an existing law that just was created and you really don't agree with, and you felt maybe citizens were misled about this law when it was created. There is a time frame that you've got to consider when striking down a law. You're going to have to look at it has to be 90 days after the law was created, and you know and you're going to need 127,000 signatures, authentic signatures to get rid of this law, for it to be evaluated, and for voters to have a full election on this law. So your research project, if you choose to do the referendum, you're going to need to look at the pros and cons, and some of the pros with this that you would consider is its direct control of its citizens to be involved in government to strike down a law that they don't agree with. It allows them to take control of their lives. However, there is a cautionary tale about doing a referendum. If citizens aren't happy about this law, and this law is there to protect maybe a group of people that have very little power, this could be, you know, this could be bad for them, because maybe this law was created to protect their rights, to help them in their situation. Maybe it's homelessness that this law was created to help them better their lives. And so you got to look at what motivation are you creating this referendum on this law? Is it to because you don't like this group of people? So there's some of the things that you need to tackle when you're thinking about a referendum. It's really important to look at that. So as you're doing your research on striking down a law, you really want to see why you really want to do this. Why would you really want to get rid of that law? Maybe it is hurting the environment. Maybe that's one aspect of your research is you're concerned that this law was created to ruin the environment or have some aspect of overfishing or just so many different things that you'd want to look at why you'd want to strike down a law. So I need you to include that in your research. I need you to look at the numbers of signatures, maybe create a proposal how you're going to collect those signatures to strike down that law. If you're going to do the initiative, why do you want to create this initiative? That needs to be center of your research project. What are some ways this could benefit your community if you're going to create a new initiative, a new law that's non-existent, or maybe there's a weak law that you're trying to add to that law. So what is the background about the existing law? So part of your research needs to look at what's if there's an existing law or if there's just no law at all. You need to address that in your research project. They're both good opportunities to shape your community, shape the laws that are govern your community. They just have different aspects that you would go about creating and why you would create them. So I need you to tackle that in your research project. I know it's a snow day, but I really want you to take the opportunity to start on your midterm project. We have just 3 weeks before your midterm projects are due. So I need you to get going. I need you maybe to do a Zoom call with your partner that you're going to be doing your group project with for your midterm. So maybe divide up the research that you're going to do on this. But I need a strong foundation of a plan that you're going to use to create the signatures for both either initiative or referendum. I need a solid plan to how you're going to gather the research within the time frame. Again, you're going to need if it's a new constitutional, it's almost 400,000 signatures. If it's an initiative uh, for a statutory, which is adding to a law, it's only 255,000 signatures. So both of those, you got to come up with a plan depending on how you're going to do your research project. So I need an outline due in the next week with with your plan. So thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying your snow day, and I will see you the next day of class.